Hey Cancer, what is going on? Welcome in. I'm Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're going to be looking at your collective energy, or your energy. It is collective, a collective reading, but your energy for the next couple weeks. So welcome. I hope you're doing well. I hope that things are moving well for you and in your world. I'm picking up the deck and I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So let's first start with an energy clearing. We're going to remove any blocks, any obstacles that we're kind of coming up against lately. This is also a really great time, Cancer, to set your intention. Meaning, if you're in a situation, if you want certain questions answered or are feeling confused around certain things in your life right now, really ask Spirit to bring those messages forth during this reading. It helps, like I said, set the intention and then use our discernment, right? Because these are collective readings, using our discernment is imperative. It's important. I never want to be a fearmonger, right? Placating off of people's fears, etc. I also do personal readings, just as a side note. So if you want something more specified to you, definitely hit me up. That information is in the description box below, and I think it's tagged on the videos as well. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Let's throw these videos out into the algorithm so we can, reach more of the collective energy. All right, Cancer, let's get going. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release and remove anything that is blocking the highest and best for us in this reading. Release any fear, doubt, anxiety, uncertainty, anger, aggression. Help make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Mama, Love, Amen. All right, Cancer, so welcome in. We're going to look at the overarching energy for you for the next couple weeks, and then we'll clarify with the tarot. What's going on for us? So we'll have, during this period of time, we'll have a new moon lunar eclipse on, March 25th. So in a couple days, I will upload a video for that, so stay tuned. We also, when we hit April, we're also going to be moving into a Mercury retrograde April 1st. This Uranian energy comes out for you right off the bat. So being a little rebellious, kind of moving against how you normally would show up. What's actually expected of you? I feel like you're flipping the script a little bit. We're seeing that a lot across the board because of the collective energy. And also I want to say that Uranus is in Taurus. So it gives us the opportunity to kind of look at how we've been showing up in our life and changing those patterns. As I'm saying that, we're getting the new moon, and the new moon is about setting intention, achieving new goals, so to speak. What do we want to see bring in and manifest into our life that we're feeling like it's just not fulfilling right now? There's something that's kind of missing, etc. We're moving into Pluto into Aquarius season, which is like setting a new cycle for all of us. Capricorn, which is the sign prior to Aquarius, was really forcing us to hammer out the nitty-gritty, the things that didn't work. We had to go through these experiences that felt kind of heavy in order to get to more of our wish fulfillment, which Aquarian energy is going to bring us. So you're going through this process of natural order. I really love this card, not because it feels great. It's just that friendly reminder that everything does have a process. Everything does have a natural order. As much as modern day, with the advent of technology, we're used to instant gratification. things at our fingertips all the time, etc., we still have to remember those natural cycles that are present in life. And being human beings, biological creatures, we also ascribe to those cycles. And sometimes when we are moving away from one thing, when we're trying to manifest, we have a goal in mind, etc., we have to remember that there are certain steps in order to get there. And I feel like what you're weeding out, what you're walking away from, you feel a little bit more settled in this energy, but at the same time, you're kind of like, yeah, I get it. I just wish it was done and over with already. Or I wish that I had already moved on, that something else was already in play, so it didn't make me feel, this kind of way. But unfortunately or not, and we're getting this a lot in the collective energy and all the zodiac readings, there is work in front of us. That's what Saturn is. It's ruled by Capricorn. It's exactly what I was talking about at the very beginning. Saturn shows up as that planet of karma in our life. It's forcing us to do the work. It's forcing us to be aware, to learn the lessons, and then change how we're showing up, change how we're doing things. And that process in and of itself, big or small, is so difficult, right? Like, as humans, we love our comfortability, especially Cancer. Cancer rules the 4th house. It is that home, nurture, love, support, liking to feel all comfy, cozy, etc. So when we have to do hard work, when we have to kind of show up in this energy of like overcoming, evolving, growing beyond, being able to understand that there is a process that is intertwined with this growth, it can feel very daunting. It can actually feel like pretty annoying is what I'm hearing. And maybe there's just this part of you that's a little annoyed, right? For some reason, you're being rubbed the wrong way because you're experiencing this level of duality. You're seeing both the good and the bad, so to speak. You might even be dealing with a Gemini individual or someone who, just is expressing two different aspects of themselves, right? Like you see them in one way for a minute and then all of a sudden they're acting the complete opposite. And it's making you feel a little bit like, well, what the F is going on? Like, what is this, right? Well, something is happening. Like I said, something is being hammered out. A lot of this is around how it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to evolve, that natural evolution that we talked about. And again, it doesn't mean that it feels comfortable, unfortunately, but this is kind of like a lot of the readings this week, unfortunately, or for the next couple weeks. I feel bad to be the bearer of bad news. It's not bad news, right? It's our evolution. It's our process working through the hard stuff. It's forcing us to connect with what we truly desire. And I feel like for you, Cancer, there has been some disconnect. There have been some things where, maybe you're just functioning out of one way because you're used to doing it this way. But when we come into challenge and obstacle, it forces us to look at, well, is this way really working? And is how I'm showing up truly in alignment with what I want? Oftentimes, when we don't like what's happening in our life, we have the power to make different choices. But we need to be aware of that power and not exactly, thank you, Spirit, not limit ourselves with this 8 of Swords energy. And that limitation can be very easy to fall into, whether we're blaming other people, places, and things for our misfortunes or, giving our power away is what I'm hearing, allowing other people or situations to make the decisions for us. That can be very defeating, right? And Spirit is asking you to stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself, who you are, what your power is, to believe in that. I feel like with this 7 of Wands coming in your energy, you're overwhelmed. Like, it's just been enough. And you've been trying. It's not translating in the way that you've been hoping for it to translate. And instead, you're just seeing these tower moments pop off left and right. It might not be one big explosion in your life, but it's constantly like these things that are happening that are just breaking down everything that you've been tirelessly working for. And it feels overwhelming. In some ways, like, all you can do is just wave that white flag, that flag of surrender, because it's just like, well, what else? And as much as it can feel defeating, Cancer, at the same time, Spirit is really asking you to, instead of, yes, I mean, surrender, I think, is a very strong energy to embody. We often don't give it enough credit. When we surrender, more clarity comes in and we're better able to move forward. Also, when we surrender, we have the time to, like, think about the things we actually want, right? Is this good for me? Is this something I truly want? Or am I continually investing into something that doesn't feel heart honoring? You might be feeling a little bit like rigid or like stubborn or like, I don't want to do it differently. This is what it is, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is how it plays out. Which, you know, I like the Emperor because he gives us structure, but sometimes the Emperor can be very inflexible. And I almost see this as you, Cancer, trying to, like, you know, project this equation. Well, if I do A plus B, then it's going to equal C. Sometimes, but often in life, that really doesn't happen, right? There's so much gray. Things are not black and white. It is not this, like, very structured calculation to get us to point A. I feel like we actually have to, like, sit and evaluate what is happening, what the energies are in our environment, and work with those versus saying, well, if I do this, then I'm going to get this type of reaction. It's not happening. And I see you getting really pissed off about it. You know, you're not liking the output that is coming right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4 is on the clock. It's about our evolution. I need to slow down. I'm getting ahead of myself. I apologize. So really stepping into or understanding that this is a part of the process. It is a part of your evolution, and it's not good, bad, right, or wrong. Here we see the waxing gibbous, and again, it talks about that tower energy that is in our realm. You're seeing it both within you and also outside of you. It's building up. There have been, you know, interestingly enough, it's 10 of Swords in your environment. I'm hearing this is a situation you have been through before. You know this energy. It feels all too familiar, Cancer, is what I'm hearing. It's all too familiar. And I feel like this is something that you have not changed for, like, you've seen it before, you know it, but have not really done much about it. I apologize. I don't mean that rudely. With the 6 of Cups, 10 of Swords coming up, this talks about repeated cycles of with people from the past, right? And we all do this. We loop into dynamics. We create these dynamics when we initially meet people, and readjusting those are very difficult. That's why long-term relationship is really difficult to sustain, because we have to have similar morals and values, right? And then we also have to both be willing to work and grow around the challenges, which when we're in dynamics, when we're not getting a lot of reciprocity from those around us, it can be very defeating. And you're experiencing some of that. For some reason, you feel like you've been giving into this situation, and there's something around this that is not giving back. Well, Ten of Swords, been there, done that. I'm not interested in really seeing or understanding how this moves forward. Yeah, okay, so Queen of Wands is coming up as your connecting energy. You could be dealing with an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is also someone who is putting themselves out there. I feel like they're changing with how they are interacting with you in relationship, but then also how they're interacting with their own environment. And this feels a little bit off-putting. You don't love this. I feel like you don't really know how to perceive it, how to handle it, how to understand it, because it's something new, it's something different. This could be someone you've had long-term relationship with and you didn't really expect this. It feels a little bit like, oh no, like, why is this person acting in this way, or why are they behaving differently, etc. One person, someone's trying to move away from these dynamics. This definitely has attachments to our deeper, more intimate relationships, Cancer. So dealing with someone who you have intimacy with, whether lover, friend, family member, someone a part of your community, etc. Or this is, just places, sorry, I have to look. Or this is just places that you need to find a little bit more flexibility and understanding within yourself. You're not looking at things very rationally, or there's not a rational perspective around how this stuff is playing out. It definitely feels like there's a lot of emotion. Yeah, there's a lot of heartbreak. There's a lot of emotion with this Three of Swords energy. And it's blocking the bigger picture. It's blocking the bigger perspective. So you might feel like someone is pulling away their energy. It feels a little tumultuous. You're not really sure how to feel about it and what to do about it. But at the same time, remember that Spirit is asking you to work through this. Work through this so you can actually attach or understand what you desire, what your heart wants, instead of being put down by it, right? Sometimes opportunities leave us. It's not something we expect. It can feel pretty crazy making. It can, but if we're not willing to change our perspective, that can also limit us very heavily as well, and again, you feel like you're trying to uphold everything in this very strong and put together way, which I love. It speaks to how you are able to carry a lot of burden, and you're a very strong individual. But then at the same time, you might be missing, the whole point, the whole learning lesson. And that's what this is showing. Like, there is a lot of pain in this dynamic, and if we allow ourselves to see why that pain is there, it helps us move forward. It feels like one person's moving forward, one person's not. And that is where you're confused. That's why you're like trying to figure out, well, how is this all gonna fall? How is this all gonna end up? You'll get your clarity as you move on. And I think this is a lot about this Gemini, the duality that is showing up for you. That basically sometimes what we expect or don't expect to happen actually happens. Yeah, and you'll be very, there is enough information coming in for you that you get the clarity that you need. It's going to be a little bit humbling is what I'm hearing. Again, we're getting that Hierophant. So Hierophant, Four of Wands, attaches to things that are really important to us, things that we do really care about, things that we wish wouldn't go the way that they're gonna go. But it's forcing us to be more aligned with who we are. It is a big learning lesson. It is a lot of karma embedded in this. I'm so sorry, Cancer. You're being forced to claim your independence, forced to claim your power, and not be afraid of that. See, and I hear like seeing your strength, right? Cancer isn't necessarily the sign of strength per se, no shade. I mean, obviously, your chart, your natal chart is gonna show where your energies are the strongest. Cancer energy as a whole, it is a feminine energy. It's more about that support and nurture that I talked about earlier. And so sometimes when we are in this very feminine, loving, nurturing, supportive energy, we forget our strength. We forget our tenacity, our ability to overcome. And Spirit's asking you to not be afraid to overcome even the hardship, even the places that are difficult to find balance. But I'm hearing that you're seeing this already. You already feel the imbalance with what you're dealing with. And instead of just like acknowledging it and saying, you know what, this is not working for whatever reason, it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to try this a different way, or I'm going to try to accommodate this person and how they want things, versus actually just acknowledging that like maybe it just doesn't fit. Maybe it is not the right fit. When we're searching for our abundance, that clover energy, it means that we have to detach emotionally from those things that are in our environment and make more rational, clear-headed decisions. And one thing about the Emperor that I feel is sometimes he's so stubborn and rigid that he is disconnected from his emotion. He's disconnected from how he feels. So he ends up doing things out of control and manipulation, even if it is subconscious, versus actually what he wants authentically in his heart. He's more willing to sacrifice what he wants for the greater good. But sometimes that's just not what we need to do. You know, we're living in modern day and we are allowed to enjoy the life we lead, right? There's so much potential and opportunity nowadays with, you know, connecting on a global level, technology. There's so many advancements. Anybody can really tap into their abundance. And we're so used to maybe not looking at that abundance because of the old ways, where now it's time to open up to the new and really acknowledging what you deserve, creating stronger boundaries within this dynamic, creating stronger boundaries for yourself so you're not feeling so confused or taken advantage of or limited, because things do need to be cut off. I'm not going to say with this person's situation, but I do feel like eventually there is going to be, you know, the relationship, the situation is going to look very different because it's too far gone with this rats card. Rats are those infestations, right? It's the breeding ground for disease, for illness, toxicity, unhealthiness, etc. And this stage has already been set in this dynamic. And I feel like you know it. And that's why you're embodying this Emperor energy, because you're trying to like reel it back in. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't, you know? So knowing when to let go, knowing what your cure is in this dynamic, right? Sometimes the cure is about cutting off. It's about releasing. It's about letting go. It's about making really heavy boundaries with people, places, and things that don't really honor us or don't really support us, don't fit where we're headed and where we're going. And that is part of the hard work, Cancer. It's not easy at all. My heart laments with you because it's a very difficult life path to move through. I do guarantee for you on the other side, it is going to be happier and more fulfilled, especially when we pursue things that are more heart honoring, that do really speak to what we want, what we desire in our life, versus the things that we just make work because they're available to us. That's like not a way to live, right? Especially if it's not heart honoring, or like I was saying, it's not the same goals, morals, values, ambition. And there is definitely some disconnect. So I hope this helps give insight. I'm sorry, I know this was a little bit of a heavy reading. Like I said, that's kind of a trend with these zodiac readings this week. We're moving through a lot. We have that Mercury retrograde coming in April. So it is going to end, and the full moon in a couple days. It's going to make us feel a little bit untethered. Just know I'm here for you. For any support, drop comments below. Reach out if you want me to look at your own personal situation. I really love to help, support, and honor you as you move through. Thank you for all you give to the channel. I'm sending all the love and blessings your way.